moving forward. Can there ever be any solution to this, or is this mostly saber rattling? You know what they call saber rattling? Raila says something today, and then the president says something tomorrow, and then back and forth. This saber rattling, can it end? Will it end?
Jeff, life will end. You know, life without Raila will be empty like the sky without the moon. I don't know what we'll do when this guy exits politics. Look, and he's done a lot in the development of law and politics in Kenya. You've got to give it to him. Look, many people always associate Raila with bad things. He participated in the coup. But so what? Most of the coups that were conducted in most African countries in the 80s are the ones that gave birth the democracy that we see there. But look, over and above that, look at the reform movement. The reform movement has been spearheaded by Raila. If it were not for Raila, we will not have the surgery in the judiciary. We will not have a system where the constitution was promulgated in the manner in which we are seeing it. We will not have these independent commissions. We are not saying that he was solely the one behind it, but he appears to be one of those remaining individuals who is still consistent in his thought pattern that we need to have a system that is accountable to the people.
At the same time, Nelson, I mean, you just said that life without Raila will be like the sun without the moon, but you have to consider it. You have to consider a life without Raila, because let's face it, he's tried the presidency 4 times.
Yes.
4 times, and you know, maybe 3 out of 4, he says, was stolen from him.
Yes.
There's got to be a time where you exit stage left, Nelson.
Well, but the chap has a lot of energy, Jeff. Look at him. I think if we were to go for a 100-meter race where the 3 of us, Raila will win. So if he still has the energy, why can't he go on until such a time as he's exhausted or he reaches the finishing line? Yes.
And you're insisting, can there be continuity? You know, people look for, him to pass the baton to someone else to continue.
Well, I think it would be a good idea for him to pass the baton, having established a very elaborate mechanism through the Constitution. But it must be understood, as we are at this particular moment, he's still the head of this reform movement. He hasn't demonstrated any failure on his part. I think he hasn't went in his energy. He's still the captain. As and when there'll be need to replace the captain, I'm sure if he still be with us, he will designate an appropriate captain. But life will go on. But we shouldn't forget all the good things that is done to bring us to the level in which we are. And we're not saying that it's a worship of Raila. There are many individuals in this country who've done a lot to bring us where we are. We also need to appreciate what President Uhuru Kenyatta has done. It must be understood that President Uhuru Kenyatta was very vocal when he was the head of the opposition. And most of the achievements that we have right now were put in place during his watch as the leader of the opposition. Look at also Deputy President William Ruto. He was in the forefront of the reform agenda when they teamed up with Raila Odinga. It's only that they've taken particular positions, but all these are our leaders, and we need to respect them. We need to participate where necessary and give them support if needed. Indeed.
Mudanga Paul says, real men Nikama Nelson Harvey. I'm loving the show. Alan John Kibwe says, good morning. I'm tuned in. The show is smoking. John Gurugwe, all the way from Doha, Qatar, he says, good conversation. But ask Nelson, what does it take for Raila to concede since he never has?
Well, I think simple. Raila said what it takes for him to concede will be a free and fair context where he's able to run and actually see, despite the fact that the field is level, he can't reach the finishing line. And I think if it can be shown to the public that he can't reach the finishing line, and races are always conducted in the open, and that is what he has always insisted. Let's play this game in the open, the way we always play football, or even if it's boxing. Even if the ref says this, we're able to interrogate the spectators. Look, these are the blows that have inflicted on Jeff. These are the scores that... Jeff, what is your team, the football team?
What? The local is God, of course.
Okay. These are the scores that have his team Ingwe inflicted on Jeff's team. I mean, it's obvious. And it's seen... By the time we're leaving the field, we'll have known who scored. But look, by the time Uhuru Kenyatta was being declared president on the 11th of August, Even Chebukati himself was confounded with a lot of doubt. The chap was about to announce the winner without signing the declaration, again indicating that he wasn't sure what was happening. But if we were certain, look at the manner in which President Mwai Kibaki was elected in his first term. There was no doubt whatsoever that this chap had won, and the celebration all over the country was it was mountainous. You understand? We didn't even need security to take Kibaki to Uhuru Park for swearing. You understand?
Yep.
And that is the reason as to why we always insist, let's have a free, fair election. If we win, if we lose, we go home and say it's a game. The people have decided. The numbers have been vindicated by the formula. Let the best of us lead.
Nelson, you're an advocate of the High Court. Martha Karua wants the entire election scrapped. Does her petition hold any water?
Well, her petition holds a lot of water, but I don't think that is water that will be irrigated throughout the Republic of Kenya. Well, Martha Karua contested for the particular election in that particular county. So a determination in respect of that matter will be limited to that county. Look, compare it with the Supreme Court. There is a perception that the Supreme Court made a scathing attack in the entire process by the IBC. And if that is anything to go by, then it will invite the nullification of the entire election. But that is not how the process of law is undertaken. A dispute must be resolved within the confines of the individuals who have submitted that dispute. The election petition by Martha Karua will not annul the entire general election that was conducted in August. It will only relate to the manner in which the election was conducted in that particular county.
Understood. Yes. Bottom line, if Chiloba and a couple of the others that NASA has demanded to be removed, if they don't,
well, they'll be removed. And history is replete with individuals of the mindset of Chiloba. Not so long ago, you saw Loro Bagbo being removed from the bunker in a very unceremonious manner. If that is what Chiloba wants, then it will be given to him. The people have the capacity to give it to him. And it must be understood, the Constitution is a very sacrosanct document that must be respected. And if it cannot be respected because individuals in power have manipulated the dispute resolution mechanism set out in the Constitution, the people have the reserve of going back to the nature in which they can take decisions in their hand and kick out Ezra Chiloba. And Ezra Chiloba is a lawyer. He was my colleague in school, a few years behind me. I think he needs to take advice from those who have seen darker nights and brighter days like us and do the correct thing. You cannot subject Kenyans to this turmoil forever. You understand?
Absolutely. Yeah. But at the same time, Nelson, as a leading lawyer, what would you tell the Babus and the Moses Couriers and all these folks who are, inciting, if you will, they're raising the temperatures of this country at this time? What would you tell them?
Well, look, despite my political affiliations towards a particular lining, I think as an elder statesman in Kenya, it's incumbent upon me to tell people like Babu Owino, people like Moses Kuria, please moderate what you say. You see, the people have the right to be told the correct thing. But the people also have the right not to be confused. You understand? The people have the right to live in a disciplined atmosphere. And I think this thing has cascaded from the top. I will commend Right Honorable Odinga. I've never seen him abuse President Uhuru Kenyatta at any one point whatsoever. In fact, if you listen to all his conversation, he always calls him President Uhuru Kenyatta, Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is how it should be. Let these individuals learn the good things. Don't just imitate. Monkey see, monkey do. We are not monkeys. We are human beings. We are a little bit elevated from the city park monkeys. Let's not just repeat this thing. You may be aggrieved in the manner in which you've seen an issue being conducted. Speak. As Jeff, you always say, the moment we stop talking
is the moment we start fighting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Good one. Good one.
The Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jalango.